Yo, Trump not playing. He ordering airstrikes. What is going on? Let's see what's going on over here.
With us here on Live Now from Fox, I'm your host, Christina Evans. As promised before we went to that 2-minute break, we're going to be diving a bit further into some of the headlines that are coming out of the Middle East. I want to put up this live shot that we have there in Tel Aviv. So what we do know is that today, President Trump said that he ordered a series of airstrikes on the Houthi-held areas there in Yemen, promising to use overwhelming lethal force until Iranian-backed Houthi rebels cease their attacks on shipping alongside that vital maritime corridor. Right.
Man, this dude's not playing, bro.
Now, we do know that the Houthis have said in response that 13 civilians have been killed in the capital. I want to put this on your screen as well. This is a portion of that statement from President Trump that he put on Truth Social as he announced some of these attacks. I'm going to read it out in full here, and then we're going to dive in with some of our experts to decode what this means and overall what the impact will be there in the region. But as this reads here, President Trump...
Did y'all hear that the judges have blocked Trump from using the 1700 Wartime Act for deportations? They're trying everything that they can to stop him from, like, shoring up the border. Like, these Democrats are insane, bro. And I think they're trying to figure out how to remove some of these federal judges because of, you know, they can be, I think, impeached or something like that. I can't remember what they said, the verbiage that they're using like now, but they're actively in the process of trying to get some of these rogue federal judges out of here because they're obviously working against the United States. Like, why are they trying everything that they can to just prevent him from doing the job of getting the border secured? Pretty interesting. Shout out to Deontay Kennedy. Thug life. It is what it is.
Trump says the Houthi attack on American vessels will...
What's up, Marie Brown? I see you in there, a member on the channel. What's up?
Not be tolerated. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective. The Houthis have choked off shipping and one of the most important waterways of the world, grinding vast swaths of global commerce to a halt and attacking the core principle of freedom of navigation upon which international trade and commerce depends. Our brave warfighters are right now carrying out aerial attacks on the terrorist bases, leaders in missile defense to protect American shipping, air, and naval assets, and to restore navigational freedom. No terrorist force will stop American commercial and naval vessels from freely sailing the waterways of...
And aren't they backed by Iran? So this is interesting.
The world. Wanted to bring you that portion of the statement. Again, we brought this to you as breaking news when it came out that President Trump has now conducted these wide-ranging missile strikes against the Houthis and Yemen. I want to bring into the conversation now Ken Gray. Thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Of course, we like to keep our eye on this region as some of
y'all can too. Hit the like button if you can, so we can break through this this algorithm. Democrats trying to keep us from doing that. Hit the like button.
This news comes out.
Yo, another thing before we get into the rest of this news, Michelle Obama, she launched a podcast. It's kind of not doing as well as she thought it would do. Who's gonna sit around and listen to Michelle Obama? Like, come on, y'all.
First of all, what were your thoughts initially when you heard that President Trump had ordered these attacks there on the Houthis?
Hi, Christina. Glad to be with you. You know, to me, this is something that should have occurred over a year ago. That is, the Houthis have been dominating the Red Sea, denying the use of the Red Sea for international commercial shipping. Billions of dollars have been wasted because ships have had to sail all the way around Africa to be able to get up into the European countries, into the United States, denying them the opportunity to be able to go through the Suez Canal. The Egyptian government has been reeling from the fact that they have not been able to get the money from shipping going through the Suez Canal. And now the Houthis have announced that they are going to resume their attacks on ships in that area. They had not been doing so for about the last month during the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. But now they have recently just announced that they were going to resume their attacks on ships. So President Trump has rightly said that we will not tolerate that.
You know, I wish they had GoPros on some of these on these aircraft of ours. I just watched was it Top Gun Maverick yesterday, you know? So I kind of want to see these jets in action.
We will not tolerate U.S. warships coming under fire by the Houthis, and that we will take care of the problem of the Houthis. This is not a one-time strike like happened during the Biden administration. We're not going to see a few missiles or a few aircraft attack, and then that'll be it for the operation. This is attacks that will be ongoing for days to weeks.
And when we're seeing these attacks, as you say, they're going to be ongoing for days to weeks. This has been expected. Can you sort of explain the long relationship between Iran and the Houthis as well? They are one of those
So this is because of shipping.
proxy groups there in the region.
So the axis here of resistance, Iran runs a group of proxy countries, proxy groups throughout that area, all the way from Iran across to Lebanon, down into Israel with Hamas. And
this stream, if you got something to say, trying to diss me or something like that, put it in the super chat. Otherwise, I'm not reading it. Marie Brown saying subscribe, folks. Shout out to you.
The Islamic Jihad, and also with the Houthis. The Houthis have been punching far above their weight class in that they had wanted to get into the fight against Israel with Hamas, but because of the distance from Israel, they've only been able to do a couple of airstrikes against Israel, and none of them have been effective. However, they have been showing themselves to be very effective at launching attacks on commercial shipping going through the Red Sea and denying the...
White House said President Trump has taken action against the Houthis to defend U.S. shipping assets and deter terrorist threats. For too long, American economic and nationalism threats have been under assault by the Houthis, not under this president. All right. I mean, I ain't mad at Trump on this. Like, y'all ain't about to keep messing with our shipping now. Like, who do y'all, these little terrorists be thinking they all that. Like, we America, bro. Like, y'all want to, all right, you messing with our shipping, we gonna show you what's up. Drop them bombs. Paint. Get him. You know what I'm saying? I'm with him on that. I don't know, get mad. I'm with him on that. Shout out to Trump.
Red Sea passage for commercial shipping. And so they have been harassing shipping.
So we didn't know what was going on before. So it's just about shipping. We're getting in, trying to stop our shipping situation.
And have been a constant source of irritation, but they are finally going to be dealt with. So far to date, attacks on them have been striking at things like radar installations or launching equipment or missiles. What actually has to happen is to make the Houthi leadership pay a price to seek out and neutralize their leadership in addition to their equipment. So a lot of their equipment has been put underground, so that denies them as easy targets. But the Houthi...
Hey, what y'all think about Rosie O'Donnell leaving America? I say good riddance. One less person talking crazy about Trump. She can go. She can go over there. I don't know where she at, Ireland or something. Let her go. We don't need her over here. She ain't doing nothing. She's not contributing to what we got going on anyway. She's just subversive, negative, always got something to say about Trump. Don't have nothing good to say about our administration, nothing good to say about America. Let her go over there. Who cares? We don't need her.
Leadership should be targeted also.
And when we're thinking about the broader impact of some of these attacks, let's first talk about the economic impact. These ships, they are going through that region. It's a major thoroughfare, as President Trump said. Can you sort of talk about how that's impacting multiple countries, not just the United States, as it's a frequently used path for shipping?
Yeah, all the goods that are passing from the Far East take that route through the Red Sea. So we're talking about impact on a lot of different countries' economies. Parts for cars, for instance, often have had to be directed all the way around Africa, taking an additional month to get to their end use to be put into automobiles as they're being manufactured. Electronic goods coming from China has to be diverted all the way around like that around Africa. And
Yo, y'all know how much time that's gonna take? Like, nah, we not about to keep going all the way around Africa, dog. That ain't about to happen. Let's go ahead and send them aircraft over there. Teach these dudes a lesson. Trump ain't playing.
so this has been an impact not only on the United States, but an impact on European countries across the board, and an impact on the Far East.
Not to mention this, before we keep on, y'all know, like, Joe Biden just literally left the astronauts in space. Like, what kind of person are you to leave the astronauts in space? Like, who do you think you are, bro? You ain't even try to go get him. So Trump is sending Elon Musk, you know what I'm saying, or giving him the responsibility to go get him. So they're going to be launching rockets with her. I think they already did it. But that's crazy. Like, how y'all just leaving astronauts up in space. Like, that is insane.
East. And so the Houthis are, as I say, are punching.
First of all, how scary are y'all calling yourself the Houthis? Like, hey, y'all, the Houthis is coming. Like, come on, bro. We ain't scared of y'all.
Far above their weight class. They are having a real impact to be such a small.
What's up, 1117 King? He said like 25.
Group that barely controls the country of Yemen. They have split Yemen into the Yemen government and the Houthi government. And so they have been a constant source of irritation. Saudi Arabia had been fighting with them before they ended up making peace with the Houthis. The Houthis, as I say, wanted to be involved in the attack on Israel, but their distance made that very difficult. So they did the next best thing and tried to dominate shipping going through this area.
And I do want to say, shout out to Anthony Mackie. He's an actor. He's going to be playing Captain America. He put out something. He did an interview, and he basically said masculinity has been being attacked in America. You know, and he's talking about how he raises his kids to be masculine men. Shout out to him for that. You know what I mean? Like, tired of this attack on men in America under the Democratic regime. You know what I mean? Shout out to Anthony Mackie. See if we can.
And as we're continuing on here, we do know as well that the Houthis put out a statement saying that 13 civilians had been killed in the process. Of course, this is going to continue on. And we also know that the United States says that, according to officials, that they are the only ones who participated in this attack. Do you think that others of our allies will continue to jump into this fight as well? Or do you think
Simon Phoenix said, yeah, masculinity is in short supply. Nah, I mean, yeah, man, like it's what it is, man. Like if you're a man, you're being attacked, bro. It's what it like. If you a man's man, like you being, it's going down. Like they're gonna try to do something, you know what I mean, like to get you up out of here, because they do not want people following masculine people. Like even like look at the war that they have on. What's the dude? He like the. Candace Owens just did an interview on him. He like real popular. Like Florida's like after him now, like Anthony Tate or something like that. What's his name? Andrew Tate. Florida's after him. Like, bro, they do not want somebody with a following preaching masculinity. They do not want that, bro. Like they're gonna try anything and everything they can to, because you know a lot of them Congress people is like that. You know what I'm saying? Congress people, senators, some of them are, you know what I mean? House of Representative members. You know, so they want to push that agenda.
it will solely be a U.S. action that's taking place for the time being?
I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you what will happen in the weeks to come, but I think that the United States has sufficient force in this area to be able to punish the Houthis enough to stop them from resuming their attacks. We've got the Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group there, comprised of the carrier and the aircraft on board the carrier. And it also has destroyers, and it has a cruiser with it. Plus, there's also a cruise missile submarine there in the area. And so that alone should be sufficient force to be able to stop the Houthis from resuming their attacks in this area, and should be able to met out enough punishment to keep them from being a continued source of irritation.
Overall, with this U.S. show of force there in the region, how do you think this is going to impact some of the other groups that are there in the Middle East, including Israel? Of course, they currently do have a ceasefire agreement with Hamas, no matter how fragile at this point. But do you think that this will impact some of the other conflicts there in the region?
So the chief country that will be impacted by this is Iran. Iran is the
Benjamin Williams said only the right thinks billionaires care about poor people. Why are you talking about billionaires? Like what is any of this? Like, why are you talking about billionaires?
The puppet master pulling the strings on all the puppets. The Houthis being one of these puppets. They have been greatly damaged by the actions there in Syria. Which Harakat with Hayat Tom Sham, HYT.
He said his 401 was better with Biden. Your 401k?
Overthrowing the Syrian government and denying Iran access to
When the Democrats are in the chat, why do y'all want misappropriation of our tax money? Like, why do y'all like that? Why do y'all not like Elon Musk finding out like all of the bloat that we've had and all the spending that was unnecessary, and them giving our tax money to terrorist organizations, them giving our tax money to like random weird programs in different countries? Why do y'all not like him trying to find that out? Why are Democrats against that? I don't understand that.
Hezbollah. And so this is another one of their puppets. So they don't have Hezbollah. Hamas is all but neutralized. And now they are losing the Houthis, which were constantly launching attacks.
So now we know what that's about. So it's basically about shipping.
A federal judge blocking President Trump from using a wartime law to fast-track the deportation of Venezuelan gang suspects out of the U.S. and demanding that the flights carrying them return back here.
Former acting ICE director and former federal prosecutor Jonathan Fahey joins us now. Great to see you this morning, Jonathan. So, just big picture, if you're looking at this whole situation and you're concerned about the integrity of the judiciary, and you see a president trying to deport suspected and known.
You tried 215 said everyone needs to worry about their own nation. Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are we worried about everybody else that don't care about us? Like, they need to get their own stuff together. Moving forward said it's their pride to be right. They care nothing about something hurting them.
Trendaragua gang members.
Rob D, right? He said it's because Democrats are getting kickbacks. It has to be. Like the USAID, they found out like those news companies were getting kickbacks. It's insane, bro. Like, I don't know what y'all be listening to, like the Democrats, like for y'all to see how this party operates and how they've been trying to destroy America and trying to allow illegal immigration to go through and no voter ID states. They're trying to make a permanent party. If you get a whole bunch of illegals in here, who do you think they're going to vote for? You think they're going to vote Republican? No, they're going to vote Democrat. Like, they're trying to circumvent the democracy process. Like, no, like that. Democrats are insane to me. Like, you just like you trying to turn this into Mexico. Like, no, I don't want to live in Mexico. Like, I don't want to live in Venezuela. I don't want to live in Mexico. I don't want that. Like, this is America. I'm, here for a reason.
And you have a judge that nobody's ever heard of interfering with this and ordering the planes to be returned. you have to think it's going to really undermine the judiciary.
What is wrong with these judges, bro? Can we please have some sort of rule of law, like in government, to where when judges start going rogue and their interest isn't for the people, the interest is for, like, against America, like, them judges need to be locked up, bro. Like treason or something. Like, can we get some kind of law like that, bro? Like, what is going on?
Well, it's another situation where a judge has really taken on the role of sort of the executive branch. And I think the judge's defense would be, well, we're just stopping this so the merits, it could be heard on the merits, because once these people have been removed, they never would have a chance to have it heard on the merits. But it does concern me when they're turning flights around and things like that that create possible safety issues. But I think one of the bigger points here is the whole reason we have this problem is because the Biden administration admitted these gang members.
Hold on, I'm answering y'all questions and y'all ain't hitting the like button. I can see if y'all not double tapping, but hitting the hearts and 100s. Y'all ain't doing that, so we off the questions for a minute.
Into the country and put them on temporary protective status, and they wined them and dined them while they were here. And some of the results of it are Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungary, which we've talked about a lot on these shows. But it really is a disgrace because that's
another thing with people. I don't understand, like, humans, right? I'll be watching, and shout to everybody, but I'll be watching people that don't even talk to the chat. Like, they be live and ignoring y'all, and y'all be liking and super chatting and everything. I'm like, they ignoring y'all. And then you get somebody that, like, answers questions and y'all don't like what is up with that? Like, what would be even with academics, shout out to academics, like, he be ignoring y'all. And y'all be going crazy for him. Like, I don't get it. Like, people like I don't understand.
This is the only way they can deport them, because some of them have status because of the Biden administration.
Somebody did tell me that. They're like, why you be talking to the chat? I'm like, because they're in the chat. They like, yo, like, just ignore them. I'm like, no, like, that's not, like, I ain't gonna say who said it, but that's what they be thinking.
Even though they're gang members. So, the Biden administration created this problem, this emergency, and the Trump administration is simply trying to protect public safety and national security here.
Jonathan, it actually goes deeper than just Biden opening the border and allowing it to happen. We're going to have a guest on our show a little bit later on. His name is Joseph Humeyer. He embedded himself with some of the caravans and did some investigation. Who's funding this? And he says this is absolutely weaponized migration, that the funding for these caravans that were coming up, including the Tren de Aragua, who was released from Venezuela, that Venezuela, China, and other bad actors were funding these NGOs in order to cause and sow chaos here in the United States. This is actually a form of warfare in a way. And so that's why what I see happening.
Somebody said you watching Fox News. What you want me to watch? You want me to watch CNN so they can lie to me all day? How many lies have we caught CNN in? You want me to watch MSNBC so they can lie to me all day? Like, what do you what do you want? Like, they be lying. Like, why you? I'll watch it. I mean, what do you want me to watch? Drop the link. What do you want me to watch? Super chat, drop the link. What do you want me to watch by the liars, the fake news? All right, come on, bro.
Here is really troublesome. There were only 5 guys, and we know they were Tren de Aragua, and we know those are, funded by the Venezuelan government in many ways and directed by them. How can this judge do this?
Yeah, I think he really is overstepping his bounds, and I think he will be reversed, or ultimately they'll have a hearing on the merits. He'll probably rule against the Trump administration, and then it will get reversed with a higher court, because
y'all be wanting these Venezuelan gangs, like, in America. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, what is this? Why y'all be wanting that?
Executive branch has discretion to make these types of decisions, particularly in wartime. And remember, we've declared Tren de Aragua a foreign terrorist organization, and then to invoke the Alien Admission Act is also further example of how serious the executive branch treats that, and they will be given deference. But you're exactly right. These other countries, gang members, everything else has been using our immigration system to harm our country. And
Terry Brown said he's right. Time after time after time, they lie through their teeth. Aren't you tired of being lied to? Bro, I'm so sick. Bro, I used to like be watching that, like MSNBC and CNN. They liars, bro. They be lying all the time. I'm not about to sit there and watch. And then when I found out that Fox News is actually the one telling the truth, I was shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, this when I made the switch, bro. I stopped being a Democrat. I'm a Republican now. I don't care. I made the switch, man, when I found out, bro. Like, they be lying. They don't know what they be talking about. They be super emotional, making things up, working against you. Like, it's like, come on, bro. Like, I can't be super excited about illegal immigrants coming in here. Like they are insane. Like, Democrats are insane, bro. Marie Brown said they changed their tune if those bad people were in their backyard. Exactly. You got Venezuelans, like, in Colorado forcing people to pay them rent, extorting people and all, like, y'all be like, well, they have their rights. What you mean these Venezuelan people have their rights to come here and extort people? Like, what are you talking about? Not all of them are doing not most of them are doing it, but some are doing it. Like, committing crimes. Like, y'all be ignoring, like, Lake and Riley. Y'all be ignoring, like, all that stuff. All the people that lost their lives when Brett Baer sat down with Kamala Harris and showed her all of those people that lost their lives because of these illegal immigrants that her and Biden were allowing to flood in here. She ain't know what to say. She tried to turn around and blame Trump. How are you blaming Trump when y'all got control over what's going on? You see how Trump got in here in less than 2 months, like, border crossings has gone down dramatically. Y'all could have done that. Y'all don't care because y'all don't care about Americans. Y'all care about illegals coming in here and circumventing the government and just so they can keep voting Democrat. That's what y'all care about, bro. Like, these Democrats, and y'all be like so glued to their news. Like, how are y'all glued to that? It's crazy.
Democrats certainly just welcomed it in every respect.
Jonathan, when we look at this, the Alien Enemies Act, it was used in the War of 1812, World War I, World War II. So it's not like we haven't had an opportunity to decide the Constitution.
I don't care what act this dude got to use, Trump got to use. Get these people up out of here. That's how I feel about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Tom Homan, let them figure it out. Get them out of here. They do not, if they are here illegally, they need to go. Let them come over here legally and be legalized and all of that. Like, don't come over here illegally and then you taking up all resources and all of that, bro. You know how many hospitals are, like, overrun by illegal immigrants? It's a lot of them. Like, y'all, bro, like, y'all is insane. No. Then they get, like, healthcare, like, bro, your taxes is, like, get out of here, bro.
Of this law, it's been used several times, even with the Japanese internment camps in World War II. So
Lisa said, this is what we all wanted, someone to stand up for America. Yeah, because it's like America, Lisa, it's like Americans don't even be standing up for America no more. They, like, be so anti-America, they willing to just let this place turn into Mexico or something. Like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, go to Mexico if that's what you want. Go to Venezuela if that's what you want. Like, what y'all be bugging? Marie Brown said, whoever doesn't like this live, just leave. Exactly. Tell them to get out of here. If they don't like it. You know what I'm saying? But nah, bro, like, I'll choose to live in America. I could live in a different country. Like, I could. Like, I rent my house out, make money on social media, and what I do for a career, I could go to a different country, but I want to be here. Like, this is my homeland. I'm not trying to have this turn into something else. Like, no.
Constitutionality of the law should be pretty solid at this point. If it took 200 years to come up with a gripe. So is the sticking point from the ACLU how this law is being used? Is it because the old law says a foreign country and now this is a terrorist organization? Or is it simply we're not sure this legislation is even constitutional to begin with?
Then they mad that we've got leadership. Like, I see somebody said we finally got Nunya said we finally got leadership. Y'all is mad that y'all mad that we got a president that can walk up steps. Y'all mad that we got a president that can give a 2-hour-long speech if he feels like it without a teleprompter. Y'all can't stand that. Y'all was so happy with a president falling asleep at the podium, going to Africa, at a convention or whatever, falling asleep. He can't walk in sand. Like, how, bro? I want a president that makes me feel like I got a president. And we are definitely respected. If you don't respect this, you want to start playing around with our shipments and doing, guess what? Airstrikes.
Excellent ships in the area for Iran. And now
Yes. I like this president. Stop letting these people bully us. How he got down and was talking to dude from, Ukraine, Zelensky, was trying to get all of our money. All Zelensky do is run around and do this. He's an actor. Look up Zelensky. He is an actor. Actor. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where he originated from. He's an actor. Sitting around, going around, we need hundreds of billions of dollars. Like, stop the war, bro. We don't want to keep giving you money. You sitting up in our White House. You don't want to wear a suit. You were asked to wear a suit. You come without a suit. And you think you about to no. Hundreds of billions of dollars again with nothing in return. No, we want mineral deals. We want something. If we ain't gonna give you this money with, you know what I'm saying, like a loan, we want mineral deals or something. Like, we gotta do something, bro. We ain't about to keep giving you money for free. Why is it okay for, the Europe to give them a 30%, interest on their loan or something, or 30% of their loans they, are doing it in the form, money that they give are in the form of a loan. Why is it okay for them to do it, but we can't do that? No, Trump, no, we ain't about to keep just helping these people for no reason. Let's stop the war. Zelensky obviously didn't want to stop the war. Y'all seen it for yourself. He didn't want to stop the war. He's trying to just bad mouth, Putin, which I get it. Your country's been invaded, you mad. But Trump is in talks with this dude to try to stop, do a ceasefire. Do the ceasefire, work out the details later. While you sitting around flying everywhere asking for money all day so you can continue to fight a war, you ain't gonna win. You got 38 million people, you know what I'm saying? In your country, Putin's sitting on 145 million. Bro, it's only gonna last you but so long. You know what I mean? The war. So you need to figure out a way to stop this. But no, he want to fly around. He don't want to lose power. You know why? Because Ukraine is in martial law right now. So they can't hold elections. So if they can't hold elections, he's still in power. So he'll rather that, in my opinion, he'll rather this war to continue to go on. Him just run around asking for money all day, still protected. Because once he gets out of power, what do you think's gonna happen? Dude was just in war with Russia. They might send somebody at dude. He ain't gonna have no military details. So right now he's safe, flying around, going to everybody, White House and in this country, in our country, going to another country, talking to their president, asking for money, and a cush, a house, flying around in luxury jets, all this, asking for money. You think he want to be in Ukraine with no security detail? No. He gonna keep this war going as long as he can. We ain't playing it, no. We ain't about to keep giving you money. And then, President Trump told him, no, we've given you, we've empowered you to, to be emboldened to be like this, to be a tough guy. He said, we've empowered you to be a tough guy. And he think he tough. He don't want to got the money. No, the money he getting is from everybody else, America, everybody else. Bro, you ain't tough. Get out of here. You don't have the cards. I don't care what they say. You don't have the cards. We've got the cards. If we sign a deal with you, we do business with you, you got the cards. But you got your chest poked out wanting to continue an endless war. No, we're not doing that. Get mad. You know what I mean? Get out. And they kicked him out the White House. I loved every second of it. That's a president. Joe Biden would have just gave him whatever he wanted and fell asleep. We ain't dealing with that, bro. I don't be working just tax. When you work, that tax is coming out. That's garnishment. Like it or not, that's what it is. Do y'all just be giving 18-20% or whatever they be taking for taxes? Or do they take it out your check? That's garnishment. You know what I'm saying? So they making you pay taxes. And then they doing whatever they want to do with your tax money. You got Joe Biden building a studio like an Oval Office studio with multiple teleprompters to help them read. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars was that of our tax money? Doing like random weird stuff. Like, no, bruh. Like, we tired of y'all. Ridiculous.
I think they're going to fail. You're exactly right. They're going to fail.
All like black people too, thug life. It is what it is. Like, we don't look at y'all birth certificate. It do not say Democrat on there. Did y'all know that? The way y'all be like, bruh, in the ghettos and in the like thug life, it is what it is. Like, I thought we had it on our birth certificate. Man, I looked at my birth certificate one day. I ain't see no Democrat, nothing on there. I'm like, oh, I could be whatever I want. Like, no, I don't. It's a lot. I don't agree with the Democratic Party. They have never done anything for us. What have they done besides incentivize the father not being in the household? Y'all love that? What have they done? Section 8, the father can't be in the household, this, that, and the. What have they done for us? Like, let's be real. Lyndon Johnson, like, thought we was slow. Give him a little bit of welfare. They'll love you forever. What have they done for, like, let's keep it real. Nothing. And y'all be loving them for nothing. They always got a song and dance of why they can't do nothing. You know what I mean? Jasmine Crockett out here trying to be Kendrick Lamar. Like, not like us. Like, what is that gonna do? You got a president right now, effective change. Everybody tired of our tax money being misappropriated and they doing whatever they want to do. Trump trying to stop it, and Jasmine Crockett is dancing to not like us. Like, what is that gonna do? How many times have they said over the years, oh, we're going to do this and we're going to do that and make sure you get reparations and make sure you do. They've done nothing, but every year, every 4 years, they got an excuse. And y'all just eat it up. Like, what? If you're not going to give us reparations and do something, at least give us a fighting chance out here. When Trump was president, I had a fighting chance. Bought a house, all of that. Got my piece of America. All right? Now you try to buy a house. Good luck. What kind of interest rate you gonna get? Like, he ain't even been there, you know what I mean, like 3 months. You know what I mean? And look at all the change and all the spending he has stopped. What he's trying to do, and he talking about no taxes for people that make under $150,000 a year. Did y'all not see that? Oh, that just happened to miss the Democratic news. MSNBC, CNN, they just happened to miss them. I thought y'all said he was all for the billionaires. Why is he trying to do no taxes for people that make under $150,000? That don't mean less taxes. That means no taxes. He's like, all right, no taxes on overtime, no taxes on tips. If they make less than $150,000 a year, no taxes. Now y'all against it. I thought y'all was for like people that don't ain't millionaires. Like, why y'all be against stuff like that? I couldn't vote to support him. Like, why not? Elizabeth Warren, she the main one. Pocahontas, she the main one. She worth like $12 million. She get paid $200,000 a year. Who are you? Who's your interest? Like, who? Like, you sound like you for them pharma companies. When RFK was trying to like hold them liable, you said, oh well, he wants to sue the pharma companies and hold them liable. Yes. Why can't they be? Oh well, that can hurt the pharma companies. Like, what? What do you mean? Have you lost your mind? What's up, Big Wave Dave? Like, what do you like? Aren't you like one you like Pocahontas, the one to be lying about that lied about like her nationality and everything? I thought you didn't like the millionaires and billionaires that was taking advantage of Americans. What do you think pharma is? You don't think them commercials running all the time in the middle of the night or on them old people stations on cable that they be watching? Old people be watching them old TV shows and you be seeing all them commercials popping up for pharma. You don't think pharma is targeting them? You know, they got, some of them got bad hearing, so when the commercial, you know how they be running down the contraindications and the risk factors, like, after the commercial, and this medication might cause heart disease. Oh, people can't hear that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, then they got a nice commercial like, oh, just take this pill and you might live to be 200. And like, just lying to these old people. Like, no, pharma needs to be held accountable. I feel like it. Elizabeth Warren don't feel like they need to be held accountable. Like, who is she working for? Is she working for America or is she working for them? Seem like she working for them. Why is she so against Elon Musk finding out all the government corruption and our money being spent? Somebody tell me why. Why, Elizabeth Warren, why are you against that? Elon needs to be stopped. He's going to have access to everybody's social security number. What are you talking about, lady? But it's okay for the banks and everybody to have all access to all of our information. It's okay for the Democratic Party to use AI to go through everybody in America's bank account to find out what transactions they were making over a certain amount of money. That's okay for all that. But it's not okay for this guy to go through there to try to save money so he can try to save Social Security. Like, that's a problem. Trump wants to do no taxes on Social Security and all of that. Y'all want to be against that? Like, y'all just seem crazy now. But y'all for Jasmine Crockett dancing around like singing Not Like Us. What does that do? Miss Waters, like, what's her name? She was at the Department of Education, like trying to bully her way in. Like, what? Like, what? Y'all want the Department of Education to stay alive, right? I know why y'all want that to stay alive, because you want Americans to continue to not be smart. Because the Department of Education has showed us over the years our test scores are lower than other countries. Yes, they are. And y'all like that because we're none the wiser of what's going on out here. No, give the power back to the states. Move to the states you want to move to. You feel like they have a better education system. Like, this is crazy. Y'all is out of y'all mind. Like, these Democrats are out of their mind. I'm tired of it, bro.
I'm saying it's unconstitutional. They're just going to say this wasn't an invasion, but the other language in there is a predatory incursion. Yeah. And you certainly can make the strong argument this is a predatory incursion. Right. You know, again, Lake and Riley, Jocelyn and Nungery, these apartment complexes. So
then Democrats, like when President Trump addressed Congress, the Democrats couldn't even stand up for a kid, 13-year-old kid that had multiple brain surgeries. You know what I'm saying? It was fighting cancer and all of that. And he got like a validation from Homeland Security, honorary Homeland Security. Y'all couldn't even stand up and clap for him. Y'all couldn't even stand up and clap for Lake and Riley. Y'all, like, that party is despicable to me. Like, despicable. What is your TDS, the Trump derangement syndrome? What does that have to do with that kid standing there? What does that have to do with Lake and Riley? Like, what does that have to do with that? Elizabeth Warren, the main one sitting down. That's why he called you Pocahontas in front of everybody, in front of you. Tore her up. Like, that's what's up. Like, shout out to Trump, bro.
I think they fail on both fronts, but the stronger argument is the second one that you mentioned.
Okay. Jonathan Fahey, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve.
We got another one. Hold on.
Another woke activist.
Check out this fake news, bro.
TDA gang members out of our country. Now let's start here.
It's the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. It's a centuries-old law that would give the president sweeping authority to deport certain undocumented migrants. It's meant to be used during wartime. What President Trump says he wants to use it for is to deport migrants were associated with the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. You know, this law has only been used 3 times previously, during the World Wars and during the Japanese internment era during World War II.
Yeah, so this is...
And this is another thing I don't want to... Like, people are like, oh, well, then why is the stock market going down? The stock market is going down with Tesla, for one. It's because Democrats are giving them negative publicity right now because they're upset that Elon Musk is helping President Trump. So and then you got Democrats out here attacking people's Teslas and burning them down and doing all kind of craziness. Democrats are crazy right now. It's insane. Big Wave Dave with the $10 donation. He said, yeah, their TDS turned off so many. Children just want the current president to fail. Such garbage. We didn't want Biden to fail. He did that on his own. Exactly. Shout out to Thug Life. Shout out to you, Big Wave Dave. We wasn't sitting here. Did I do any blogs or did I like go live talking about Biden? No. I just let him tear the country down. I'm like, all right, when it's time, like, we going live, we going to get Trump in there. We going to figure it out. We had thousands of people saying that they was voting Republican. It is what it is. Like, I didn't see Republicans going super crazy on Joe Biden. Like this. You know what I mean? Like, they wasn't. Like, they just, all right. Like, they might mention, like, okay, like, he falling asleep now. You know what I mean? They may take jabs at him, but not like how they're doing. Like, they're burning down, like, cars and doing crazy, reckless stuff. And, you know, another thing with the stock market, a lot of people, they always upset, right? Oh, the stock market is going down a little bit. Like, these are seasons. Things happen. Buy stocks when they're low. Why do y'all want the stocks to always be high? Like, I don't see no Republican complaining about stocks being low right now. You know why? Because they're buying them up while they're low. That's what you should be doing. You should never buy stocks when they're high. You know what I mean? Like, even when I was heavily invested in different companies when the stocks was low, I understood, okay, don't sell. Like, it's going to go through a period. Don't sell. Hold on to it till your money goes back. Unless you in a situation you really got to sell. You know what I mean? Don't sell until your money gets right. You know, why it's an opportunity to buy up. Like, they understand that. Like, yeah, it'd be the broke people like, oh, well, the stocks ain't at an all-time high right now. Like, what you want to buy when they're at an all-time high? You buy them when they get lower. Like, what is the problem?
This is a huge step in the right direction for President Trump. He's literally taking action on what he promised he would do. Once again, people, he's putting America first. Unlike Joe Biden, who put America last.
Hey, somebody said, well, burning cars is one thing, January 6th. All right, so can you, the January 6th committee, it looks like they were, getting rid of a lot of documents, burning documents. Then you got January 6th committee getting pardons. And we don't know what that was all about with the January 6th because they lost a lot of documentation. Over, like, the judges being overzealous, like, over giving people time that, you know, more time than what they should have got for different things. Like, come on, bro. Y'all act like y'all didn't see them doors opening. Y'all act like they actually broke down the doors. Like, come on, get out of here.
Led to tragedy.
Big Wave Dave with the $2 donation says, so many trolls with no actual points. Sheeple. Some people like to troll. I welcome the trolls, but if you're going to troll, Cash App. If you're going to troll, Super Chat. You know what I'm saying? I you know what I mean? Everyone, you know how I do. Like, if I see some of them, I'll say something. I don't block everybody or nothing like that. I don't do that on here. But, you know, if you really want to get crazy, go ahead and hit that Super Chat.
It's like Lincoln Riley being murdered by a TDA gang member. Guys, the name of the act speaks for itself. Alien.
And I've gotten on here about that January 6th. I said some people was wilding. They did too much. Some people I ain't mad at. You know what I'm saying? Them being locked up, right? But a lot of those people, like, got unnecessary sentences, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? But some of them was wilding. You know, so it is what it is.
Enemies Act. TDA is an enemy of the United States because they wreak havoc. However, I guess when it comes to Democrats and the ACLU, they don't see it that way because the judge has already blocked this order.
Do you see the legal machinery working very quickly after the president signed this proclamation? Only a few hours ago, the judge had already blocked its use from deporting 5 specific migrants that the administration had been targeting. What he has done now is expanded that to include all undocumented migrants who are being held in custody for whom this proclamation could apply. And he said that it was necessary to move very quickly here because, according to the plaintiffs in this case, some of the planes had already been loaded and ready to go to deport these people outside of the United States. And so this is on hold now.
Somebody said I need mods. No, I mean, I've got mods, but, you know, like, our mods know, like, people can troll as long as they don't get, like, super crazy. Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation said, who died on January 6th besides that woman? Let's go troll. Show me, dummies.
for 14 days, and a hearing has been scheduled for later this month.
So just imagine that. You have these groups, ACLU to be exact, that are asking the courts to stop President Trump from deporting gang members who are illegal aliens in our country who have been committing crimes and murders. How do they justify that? How do they explain that? So all I'm trying to say here, guys, is this legal fight is another example of how the system is stacked against American safety. While the left cries about so-called rights for illegal migrants.
Bro, they're crying about rights for illegal migrants. Y'all don't think that's a problem? Hold on, like if y'all hold on, we gonna do subscribers only, because I do be like talking to people that's not even subscribed. I don't know why I'm doing that. If you subscribed at least, like I might, depending on what you say, I might go ahead and respond to you. But we got CNN. Wasn't that CNN? So fake news, right? Yeah, fake news. They're sitting here talking about illegal immigrant rights. They're illegal. They ain't got no rights up in here. That's how I feel about it. But the fake news wants to just, illegals, the illegals are getting deported. Oh, no, that's bad. It's terrible. Get them up out of here.
The real victims are law-abiding citizens suffering from fear and violence in their own communities. And that's why Democrats are going to...
Hey, Tef said I'm subscribed. Welcome to the channel, Tef. Talk your stuff.
Continue to lose. Now let's listen to a Democrat donor actually expose the truth in regards to this entire topic, how he felt that he was lied to about immigration.
I campaigned for Harris. I don't know her that well. In fact, I really don't know her at all. I thought if you asked me before the campaign, I'd said I did, and I clearly don't. And I think among the biggest things that I miss, I was taking Biden and the government's data. There's no massive increase in illegal immigration. The border's secure. It's not that bad. The government data.
Yeah, who is this dude? I don't even know who this is. Can somebody in the chat tell me who this is?
Showed like 3 or 4 weeks afterwards.
And I do need to start taking TikTok serious. They do pay a lot. I didn't know. I went viral a couple times on there recently, and yes, them checks is good. I need to start taking that a little bit more serious start this week. Shout out to TikTok.
Election. It was the largest increase in illegals since the 1930s. And the second part of it was it did put downward pressure on black and Latino wages. The evidence is there. And we scoffed at it. We didn't just say, you got a good point. We got to take, and we scoffed at it. And it's a huge problem. I go to Graffiti's every morning to get the paper.
Interesting. All right. I don't want to play all this because I don't know if that's copyright.
And I'm not sure he was happy voting for Trump.
I know a lot of people like that.
Now, here's a picture of the judge that blocked President Trump's proclamation here. He goes by the name of James Bossberg, probably butchered it, U.S. District Judge in D.C., which is interesting. What I found that really stood out to me in this article is this. Pay attention. The chief...
This dude's a judge in D.C., and he's blocking Trump from doing this. Like, what in the world?
Judge in the District Court of Columbia said he heard that, quote, flights are actively departing and directed U.S. officials to have planes in the air carrying migrants returned to the United States, the outlet reported. So wait a minute. We're already spending money sending them. Now you want the plane to turn around and they're going to end up getting deported. Everybody knows this. You're just delaying the inevitable. Quote, any plane containing these folks.
Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation, he said, if you want the current president to fail, you aren't and shouldn't be American. Just say, exactly. And as y'all can tell, Big Wave Dave's got the bag. A lot of these Democrats in the chat. They want everything for free. They want their questions answered for free. All of that.
That is going to take off or is in the air needs to be returned to the United States. However, that is accomplished. Make sure it's complied with immediately. Now, this temporary ruling will put a 14-day restraining order on the use of this wartime act, which the Trump administration hopes to use to deport any migrant it identifies as a gang member without following normal criminal and immigration channels, meaning let's get these people out of here ASAP, skip all the red tape, right? That's exactly what it allows Trump to do. And I just want to highlight how crazy this judge really is. Here's what Scott Jennings had to
Shout
say.
out to Big Wave Dave with a $2 donation. He said they broke. I don't know. They PPP money then ran out. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is. Waiting for that first of the month check.
On this issue, prepare for the next 80-20 issue. Democrats passionately arguing for the return of Venezuelan gang members to spite Trump. And of course, Scott Jennings called it because the New York Attorney General.
Let's read some left-wing news. Said Trump administration deports alleged gang members despite judge's order. White House says it follows court written ruling. Judge verbally instructing planes en route to turn around. The Trump administration says Sunday it had deported illegal Venezuelan gang members under a century-old wartime law despite a court order that temporarily blocked it from doing so. This is the Washington Journal. Ooh, they can't wait to help these illegals. Let's look at what Politico is saying. Politico, federal judge halts deportation. Trump invokes Alien Enemies Act. It says a federal judge has ordered an immediate hold on efforts by President Donald Trump to quickly deport Venezuelan nationals under rarely used wartime power intended to resist a foreign invasion, and demanded the return of planes already headed to Central America. Yo, what a federal judge can do? Like, what in the world? A U.S. District Judge James Bosberg on Saturday ordered the Trump administration to immediately halt efforts to remove those Venezuelan migrants until he has more time to consider whether Trump's use of the Alien Enemies Act was illegal. The lawsuit brought on behalf of 5 named Venezuelan immigrants who provisionally turned into a class action, meaning it serves as a block on deportation of all non-citizens in U.S. custody who are subjected to Trump's proclamation invoking the rarely used law. Any plane containing these folks that is going to take off or is in the air needs to well, that's crazy. Air needs to be returned to the United States. However, that is accomplished. Bosberg announced, make sure it's complied with immediately. 2 aircrafts believed to be carrying Venezuelan deportees took off from an airport in Harlingen, Texas. During a break in a video hearing Bosberg conducted Saturday for the lawsuit filed by immigrant rights advocates. According to flight tracking database, I wonder who gives money to the immigrant rights advocates. Interesting. According to flight tracking database, one plane was bound for San Salvador. I never even heard of that. El Salvador, and the other for Camagüey, Honduras. And they were in the air nearing their destination as Bosberg issued his order. Bosberg said there are serious legal questions about Trump's rationale for invoking the 1798 law, used only 3 times in American history, by labeling the criminal gang Tren de Aragua the equivalent of a foreign government. The temporary restraining order granted by Bosberg will expire in 14 days, which he said would be enough time to litigate the legality of Trump's order. He set a further hearing on the merits of the case for late next week. Today was a horrific day in the history of the nation when the president publicized that he was seeking to invoke extraordinary wartime powers in the absence of a war or invasion, and claiming virtually unlimited authority to remove people from the country. But tonight, the rule of law prevailed, said Sky Perryman, president and CEO of Democracy Forward, a national legal organization. Where were all of y'all when Obama was using Tom Homan and he was getting people up out of America left and right? Where were y'all at? Because, hey, remember, Obama was just getting people up out of here. Y'all remember that? But now Trump is doing it. It's a problem. The CEO of Democracy Ford's got to say something like, get out of here. Trump's proclamation, and talking about this is not an invasion. If they're invading and they coming up in here illegally, what y'all think? This is an invasion. You know what I'm saying? They are wild. Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation. He said, Libs, if you are broke and want government assistance, you wouldn't be forever. He said, you wouldn't be forever if only you fight to work and do the work. Get your stuff in order. He's talking reckless to some non-super chatters up in here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to him. But I don't know. What y'all think about this? I think they wildin'. Trump's proclamation, which was released by the White House Saturday afternoon but signed Friday, relies on Alien Enemies Act of 1798, which is meant to quickly remove foreigners during wartime or invasion. I feel like we are in an invasion situation, and comes hours after preemptive order from a federal judge barred the 5 Venezuelan nationals from being deported immediately. It's the latest sweeping executive action from the White House designed to speed up Trump's efforts to deport millions of undocumented immigrants from the country. The Justice Department argued that the president could unilaterally determine who poses a significant threat to the United States, given its inherent authority as president over national security. I find and declare that the TDA is perpetrating, attempting, and threatening an invasion or predatory incursion against the territory of the United States, Trump wrote in his declaration. The order directed Attorney General Pam Bondi to sign a letter within 60 days declaring the U.S. policy, and for the letter to be sent to every judge, including the Justice of the Supreme Court, as well as the governor of every state. All right, so they talking a little bit. They kind of letting us know a little bit what's going on. It says every immigrant that meets the description outlined in the order are subject to immediate apprehension, detention, and removal. It is not clear how many members of Tren de Agua are currently in the United States or how the government will make such designations. Trump repeatedly suggested during his campaign he may turn to the Alien Enemies Act to aid his mass deportation plans, a promise he reiterated on Inauguration Day. The president said on January 20th that he would use the wartime law to direct our government to use the full and immense power of the federal and state enforcement to eliminate the presence of all foreign gangs and criminal networks bringing devastating crimes to U.S. soil, including our cities and inner cities. He also moved last month to designate 8 Latin American cartels, including Tren de Agua, as foreign terrorist organizations. I mean, first of all, I ain't saying nothing about cartels. We gonna make that clear. I ain't talking about y'all. I'm just saying I'm reading. He says, we'll be reading a lot of stories tomorrow about what we've done with them, Trump said at the Justice Department on Friday, speaking about Tren de Agua. You will be very impressed and you feel a lot safer because they are a vicious group. So that's interesting that the federal judge is out here protecting gangs. That's basically what he's doing. Trump's trying to get them up out of here. The federal judge is trying to protect them. And I get a little bit of what the federal judge is saying, right? And I'm going to be real. It's just like, yo, he can basically determine whoever he feels like is, you know what I mean? You know, is what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. I see what the judge is trying to lean on, but it's like this dude's really just trying to stop Trump from doing what he's doing. Said hours before the president's proclamation was published online, Bossberg issued an urgent ruling blocking the deportation of the 5 named plaintiffs in the suit. He cited exigent circumstances and scheduled a hearing on the issue for later in the afternoon. The lawsuit filed by Democracy For and the ACLU emphasizes that the Alien Enemies Act has only been invoked during wartime. Yeah, but I mean, it also includes invasions. We are being invaded. Like, you know what I'm saying, is what it is. It says the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. The initial order by Bossberg was issued with unusual urgency before the Trump administration had a chance to respond. The administration quickly appealed both of Bossberg's orders to the D.C. Circuit Court of Appeals, and a motion seeking an emergency stay of his first order. The Justice Department said the argument over the use of the Alien Enemies Act was hypothetical and fundamentally a political question to be resolved by the president. At the time of that filing, Trump had already signed the Alien Enemies Act proclamation, but it had not yet been released by the White House. Immigrant rights advocates said Trump's we got an immigrants' right activist. Like, what in the world? Immigrants' right advocates said Trump's order could subject countless Venezuelans to imminent risk of deportation without any hearing or meaningful review. The centuries-old law allows the government to arrest, detain, and deport undocumented migrants over the age of 14 who come from countries threatening an invasion or a predatory incursion of the United States. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how he can't use this act, because I feel like we are being invaded, right? And then you got our members of our own government. I feel like the Democratic Party are selling out our government, right? And so they're doing the no voter ID states and all of that. I mean, they can like literally, the amount of people came over here was insane. They could literally just come over here and vote. So that's a risk right there. Like, so that's why I feel like he could use it. You know what I mean? People over 14 or whatever, like he could use that. You know what I mean? It says the century-old law allows the government to arrest, detain, and deport undocumented migrants over the age of 4. I mean, why don't y'all want him like detaining and deporting people? Like why don't y'all want that? Like, I don't understand, bro. Big Wave Dave said these libs keep talking about who's going to pick your food, clean your toilets, do the jobs you don't want to do. Talking about the illegals do this. Who is racist now? Exactly. I do be seeing that. Who's going to pick your oranges? Who's going to do? It's like, what? They do be saying like some wild stuff, Big Wave Dave. Like I be seeing that, bro. I be seeing some wild stuff. Big Wave Dave is a baller. He got the money. Shout out to Big Wave Dave. The centuries-old law allows the government to arrest, detain, and deport undocumented immigrants. I mean, they undocumented, dog. Like, it's what it is. Those targeted under the wartime law would be swiftly deported and would not be allowed to have an asylum interview or an immigration court here. Why do they need all of that? Like, no, get them out of here. I don't care. Thug life. What is y'all doing? They got this right and that right, and they need to be here, and they need to, like, what? Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation, he said they advocate for taking advantage of people. New slavery. That's a good question. You know what, Big Wave Dave? I think this is a form of, what do you call it? When people are, like, empathizing with their captors? Stockholm Syndrome. Like, it's like it's a form of it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, like, people are literally taking advantage of your resources in your country, coming over here, getting $350 a week and food vouchers, $1,400 a month in New York, and y'all are sitting here like trying to find reasons for them to stay, and you got to work for everything that you get in America, and they don't. They can just come over here. And y'all sympathizing with them and trying to figure out their rights. Like, what is this, bro? Meanwhile, you in New York, you barely affording rent. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. And you got the government just giving your tax money that they tax you for every little thing to give to them. It's like, it's literal insanity, if you ask me. Those targeted, it says there is so much urgency here and so much harm at stake, said ACLU attorney Lee, who is representing the Venezuelan nationals. At a Saturday hearing, the government appears to be moving plans very rapidly. For understanding is that planes are going right now. So I don't know. It says flight tracking database showed several flights scheduled to depart from Valley International Airport in Harlingen, on planes operated by a company that contracts with Immigration and Customs Enforcement to do deportation flights. Oh, okay. So it's not. All right. So somebody got a contract to do them flights. Yo, whoever got that company is smart, bro. Video posted online Saturday showed a bus departing the El Valle Detention Center in Raymondville, Texas, accompanied by law enforcement vehicles. Immigration lawyer Jane Diaz said he recorded the images of immigrants from being transferred for deportation under high security just after 2 p.m. Central Time Saturday. Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation. He said, how many come here to work and send most of it back home? Exactly. He got like people liking that post. Yeah. Like how many people, come here to work and send the money back home. They be acting like the money just be sitting and circulating around America. They be sending that money back home so that they can get their situation together and come here and invade. You know what I'm saying? That's how I be feeling. Like, bro, and then as soon as a war go down and we at war with somebody, they going back home. You think they're gonna be sitting here? If you come here legally, I'm rocking with you. Because I know if it goes down, we got a problem with Putin, we got a problem with Iran, China, something, you're gonna be fighting with us. So I'm cool with you being here. But if you coming over here illegally, you getting all of our resources and all of that, and you just sending them back, no. I got a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? It said there was helicopters following them, Diaz said. There was a lot of activity going down there. He was showing off force to make sure nothing happened. Like earlier Saturday, Diaz won an order from a federal judge in Brownsville, Texas, barring the deportation of Venezuelan Daniel Matos, according to a court filing. Y'all is crazy. Y'all are like fighting for illegals. What is this, bro? These people is insane, man.
General Letitia James just put this up, invoking the Alien Enemies Act, a centuries-old wartime law with a dark history, will fuel more chaos and fear across the nation. We will use every tool at our disposal to fight back against the Trump administration and protect the rights of immigrant communities. If that doesn't tell you, Democrats, what's wrong with your party, I don't know what is. Why did she not say
Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation? He said they take advantage, send money back home, get right there, then go back. I know quite a few just that I've met. Yeah, we got people that come here legally too. Like the people from the Philippines, they work and like they become, because they're like nurses that can come to America and like work as nurses in different like areas, and they can work for their citizenship and stuff like that. And what they do is they come here, they work, they pay their taxes, they come here, they work, and then when they get their retirement and stuff, they go back, to their countries and stuff like that. I mean, if you're gonna do it that way, fine. But pay some taxes. Our tax money shouldn't just be going to you for no reason.
Protect the rights of immigrant communities and our American citizens. And just so we're clear, this type of order would allow the Trump administration to expedite these deportations so they can remove known threats instead of allowing them to linger and commit further crimes. Because
another thing that's going on, like these illegal immigrants, right? They flooding in here. Like they're the reason why the housing prices is getting so high. Like people don't even realize that. They don't even realize that. Like, look, JD Vance had to talk about this.
Thank you all. Thank you, please. So thank you for being here. It means a lot, and thanks for the kind words. And I'd say to all of you, whenever I was in the Senate and I welcomed a group from Ohio, and I know you guys represent the entire country or cities and municipalities all over the country, I would always just say, enjoy the town.
I know which ones you talking about, Big Wave Dave. $2 donation. He said, yeah, the ones I'm talking about don't pay taxes. Yeah, I know which ones you talking about. But like, like the ones that come over here legally, cool. But the other ones,
because it is your city. And I think that Washington...
Marie Brown said not everybody.
Washington is a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place to spend a few days. I know you guys have some work to do, but I also think it's important to get out there and see the people's city. It was built with your tax dollars. I think these incredible buildings and museums are supported by all of you and, of course, by all the people that you represent. And so I hope you enjoy your time in Washington, D.C. So I know you're all busy, and I know it's never easy to come here to Washington, especially on a Monday. So I appreciate the effort involved in getting here, and I also appreciate the mission of this conference. The work you all do back home is extremely important. You know, most Americans, of course, they interact with their state and local governments far more regularly than they do their federal government, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way the Constitution sets it up. We know that good government starts at the local level. So while those of us in Washington certainly take up most of the press attention, and we do that whether we want to or not, I want to acknowledge the enormous impact local governments have on the lives of our great American citizens. Now, the Trump administration believes in the wisdom of federalism and leaving local issues to local officials. But we all also recognize the importance of supporting and collaborating with all of you, because so many of the issues that you deal with, of course, implicate local issues, but state issues and federal issues as well. And one area of shared interest between President Trump and I think every single person in this room is the importance of providing good housing for our citizens at a reasonable and affordable cost. And I have to say, I'm hard-pressed to think of a time in my 40 years of life where it's been so hard for normal American citizens to afford a home. Even renting a home has become a challenge, or worse yet, fallen completely out of reach for so many of our families.
Big Wave Dave with the $10 donation, he said, yeah, I don't care if they come legally and do that. However, hey, libs, look at the number that came illegally. Don't be dumb, ignorant, or put your head in the sand, which is also, I'm glad, with Doge. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Doge.
I was talking with a relative a couple of years ago, and she just made kind of an offhanded observation. As a younger person than I am, she was looking.
Big Wave Dave is obviously a Republican. He's got the bag. He's got that money. Big Wave Dave, shout out to you. I know he's probably paying a lot of money in taxes. He can talk. Shout out to Big Wave Dave.
To buy her first home, and just mentioned that when her parents were growing up, they could afford a nice home on a single middle-class income. And she was sort of mentioning this as a sorrowful thing. She was sad that that wasn't true for her generation. And I think all of us in this room, certainly including me, have a little bit more work to do, I think, to make housing more affordable. And I want to talk about that because I think it's the issue where our interests in some ways are most aligned with the people in this room. You know, I read recently that the average income it takes to buy a new house is nearly 2 times the average salary of your typical American family. Not the average American worker, but the combined incomes of a husband and wife. And that's just not acceptable or sustainable in the United States of America. We want Americans to be able to afford the American dream of homeownership, because we know that when people own their homes, it makes them a stakeholder. It makes them a stakeholder in their neighborhoods, in their cities, and ultimately, of course, in this country that all of us love so much. We want our citizens to feel that investment in their own country, and it's hard. It's hard to feel that investment if you feel like you can't even own a slice of it, even if that's what you want to do. Now, on a more basic level, we don't want people living paycheck to paycheck. We don't want them to make trade-offs between a trip to the grocery store and meeting next month's rent. Because even if you don't yet own a home, or even if you don't ever want to own a home, the knowledge that if you work hard and spend wisely, eventually you'll be able to afford a nice place to live that goes.
And not in today's day and age, JD Vance. Maybe you talk to them, because they don't understand. Like back in the day, that used to be the thing. You work hard, keep your head down. You know what I'm saying? Like stay out of trouble. You know, work hard, save your money. You can buy a house. It don't work like that no more. Like the homes are too expensive. It's like the companies are now like people that used to build like shopping malls and like, you know what I mean? Like buildings that have like, you know, lease rooms to lease and all of that for companies and stuff like that. They're buying houses.
I think a very long way to giving people a sense that they belong here and a sense that they have a stake in the future. Now, There are some important reasons why that belief is dwindling among Americans today. And a lot of it, of course, comes from the historic inflation that this country has dealt with over the last 4 years. Now, under the previous administration, to get a little bit political, the cost of a median price home in America more than doubled, and that was just in 4 years. And if your salary didn't keep pace with inflation and rise 20%, your buying power took even a bigger hit. And of course, if you think about this, if the price of a home doubles and the price and your actual salary doesn't double, then you're a lot worse off. And we know that most Americans did not see their salary double over the last 4 years.
Wait, I thought Republicans only cared about millionaires and billionaires. I'm looking at J.D. Vance talking about the regular person and their plight and what they're dealing with. Shout out to Noah, is a member on the channel, said price of homes went up close to 60% while wages haven't went to 20%. So, I mean, I don't know, man. It seems like they're very concerned with how things are.
4 years. So it's no surprise that home sales hit a 30-year low in 2024. Now, another reason for the
what people don't think about, right? So not only do you have to you want to buy a house, you want to pay the house off, right? So, you know, you look at your amortization schedule. If you buy a house and you paying on it 30 years, realistically, you're going to be buying like multiple homes with that one loan. So the bank is taking advantage of you like crazy. So you want to make like extra payments or whatever towards paying the mortgage off, right? If the house is costing you way too much as it is, you got interest rates high, you got the price of the homes high, you got all these illegals flooding in. They need places to live. So if you're a landlord, you see all these people, what you gonna do? You're just gonna raise the price of rent. Whoever can afford it can get the place, right? But then like same thing kind of low key goes for homes. It's like everybody wants a house. You only got but so many houses. Let's keep raising the prices of the houses. And then like, hey, if somebody wants to buy the house, I know it says I could sell it for $370,000. But why don't I try to sell for $450? Whoever got the money, they can buy it. You know what I'm saying? Like this illegal immigration thing, I think is just jacking up everything, bro. Big Wave Dave with the $2 donation, he said housing prices are about to fall. Take advantage. You know what I'm saying? And then who else? Music Junkies is a member on here. Say, yo, Piper Boy, what's up? Sova, shout out to you, bro. He said, like, share, comment. Please support the channel. Appreciate you, bro.
elevating costs comes down to
Yeah, Marie Brown paying the principal. Like, if you pay like an extra payment a year on your house, you can knock it down to like 22 years or something like that, paying your house off. But what if you don't? You only got so much life, right? I bought a house. You know, I'm like 41. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be paying on no house for no 30 years. I gotta try to pay this house off. You know, so. But just if I can, but imagine buying a house now, starting all the way over, buying now with these high home price. I bought my house for $217,000, right? Now it's worth like $380,000. It's like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? Like it went up that fast, and I think I could sell it like the home like two doors down sold for like almost $500,000. Now I got like all of these like companies like requesting to buy my house so they can knock it down and build like multiple houses on the lot. So it's, you know, like I can sell it pretty much for whatever I want, but if I sell my house, like what am I gonna buy? You know, so I'm keeping it until I retire. Like this is gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna rent it out, move to Manila, move to a different country, you know, and just chill. You know what I mean? Like not have to do all this. So I'm trying to get like at least 1 or 2 more houses before I skate and leave America. Like if America's gonna be crazy, like and get Democratic control and all that, I'm out. No, like be overrun by illegals and doing, you know, taxes going up. Like no, I'm out, bro. But while I'm here, you know, let's hope Trump does what he needs to do so we can get these home prices down. But shout out to J.D. Vance for addressing all of this. You know, Democrats didn't want to touch this situation. They didn't want to talk about this subject.
Zoning. And the reality, as you all know, is that zoning is an area where federal authority is.
Yeah, exactly. Marie Brown is a member on the channel. Shout out to her. She said, in addition, house owners pay house insurance, etc., flood insurance. Yeah, and then like sometimes like we had an issue in Nashville where there was a big flood, and then you know, people didn't have flood insurance. They didn't know that this was like a flood zone, and so people lost their houses. You know, so it's all kind of stuff, but you got to pay all these insurances, the taxes, then they do a reappraisal, property tax increase, all of this stuff you got to deal with. So that's one thing that surprised me. Anybody in the chat, if you own a home, you know, I thought when you buy a house, that's what it's going to be, what you pay a month, right? And that ain't the case. Like my mortgage went up $100 because it did a reappraisal price increase. So they like appraised, like they couldn't do the property tax increase, so they did a reappraisal increase. So they appraised all the homes in the area, say everything went up, so we gonna end up charging you more money, like for your house. So I had to pay like $100 more a month, because they ended up getting a Democrat in here as a mayor or something like that in Nashville, and he like was trying to hike prices up. Like it's always the Democrat. Everything was all fine and gravy until the Democrat came in here, and then he tried to do that. You know, so Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation, he said, also funny, you own a property and have to pay taxes on that. You don't own nothing. Exactly. Let you not pay them taxes and see what's happening. But then y'all keep, you know, like the electing like these Democrats in here and they raise taxes. So if you get to a situation that you up in age, you can't work, you living off of a set, whatever you have done in your lifetime, maybe it's your 401k, Social Security and all of that. Maybe you smart, you got some investments, but you living off of fixed income, some people, and then you got these Democrats raising everything on you. I think the only way to really get out of the reappraisal increase in Nashville is you got to be of age. You got to be like a senior citizen or something like that. But I think they could still like force them to pay like a high property tax. Like, so it's like, it's things that people don't think about. And like people move from like California and New York and they move to Tennessee and they want to vote the same way. And it's like, why are y'all, like, if y'all love the way California and New York was running, why don't y'all just stay there? But they don't, you know, because people are creatures of habit. They just see Democrat and they vote, you know, and that be the problem. And then we also got Big Wave Dave with the $5 donation. He said, Dems want everyone to rent. They do not want you to own anything. You know, they want you to be in servitude. They want you to be relying on that Section 8. That's what them Democrats want.
Is actually quite limited. And I'm sure none of you want the federal government in the business of mandating how cities and towns handle local laws, and that's certainly not what we want to do either. But I would ask everyone in this room is to be good partners with us, and certainly partners with your citizens, and think about how we can improve the costs of the costs of housing for our citizens. And I think one of the ways that we're going to have to do that is by being a little bit smarter about our local zoning rules. And in particular, when I think about zoning, I can't help but think about it without, of course, the communities that I know best, which are those that I represented in the state of Ohio. And, you know, Columbus, Ohio in particular, I assume we've got some Columbus people here. And, you know, Columbus is a boom town in so many ways. I've got, you know, relatives and family members who live there, who love Columbus. It's a magnet because it's had so much economic development. But one of the things that I worry about when I look at a city like Columbus or, you know, Miami, which became a boom town during the COVID years, is the unaffordability of housing. And we've got to fix that. If we actually want these places to be magnets, not just for jobs and investment, but also the dream.
How are you going to be comfortable to spend money if you can't afford to spend money? Like, that's something that people don't think about. Like, you can't afford to spend money.
Dreams of our young people, we've got to actually make it easier.
And then, like, it's like people are so used to their plight, right? A lot of people in America, like, if you are not married or you got a roommate, you struggling, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you might be lucky. You know what I'm saying? You might have a good career. Like, I went to school, I got a decent career. Like, I would be cool. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people are not. Like, if a spouse was not alive anymore, like, they would be affected dramatically. You know what I mean? Their roommate moved out, they will be affected dramatically. You know, one medical bill, one added bill to whatever they doing like a month would really like decimate everything that they got going on. That's what people don't realize. Some people are working 2 and 3 jobs. And when I say 2 or 3, some people might be working 2 jobs, door dashing, you know what I'm saying, 2 jobs. They own OnlyFans, selling feet pics. They do it like, people is wilding. People are finding like whatever ways they can to make money. Doing social media, like people are figuring out ways to make money. because it ain't like America ain't what it used to be. Like ever since they did women's lib, where like women like go to work and stuff like that, like the Rothschilds and all these people, like they talk like women, use media and stuff to talk women into wanting to work. Like it's now the kid has to be raised in a public school system, which is better for them, the government, right? Because they want you indoctrinated, they want you in controlled, right? What does a school look like? It looks like a jail. Most schools look like prisons. Like, keep it real, thug life. They do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's an institution. So, like, now the woman is out of the household, the kid is out of the household, being controlled by whatever government education, and the father and the mother is working. They ain't got time to, like, bro. This is crazy. Back in the day, a man can work, a woman can stay home, she could chill, she could be by the pool, she could be chilling with her girlfriends, raising the kids. It was cool. Now, like, people are scared to have a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine? Like, bro, when I have my daughter is like 14 now. Like, I couldn't imagine like starting when my daughter was like in daycare and stuff, I was paying like back then like $600 a month for her to be in daycare while I was at work. You know what I'm saying? I had custody and everything. So it's like, this is a lot of money, bro. Like, people don't be thinking. And like now you paying like over $1,000 a month for your child to be in, you know what I'm saying? Like, to be watched and all of that. Like, no, like, it's like people, like, if you have, like, if somebody is struggling and they have a child, oh Lord. You know what I mean? Like, it can get rough out here. Big Wave Dave with the $10 donation, he said, isn't it funny, places I have lived, like California and New Jersey, they want everything so expensive. And they go against the Second Amendment. They are trying to make you peons. Wake up, dummies. Take your money and 2A. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. Like, them Democratic places, I don't like going. Like, if I can't carry my blick to protect myself, I do not like going in them places. And they be expensive. Like, yo, when I used to stay at my every summer I used to go to my cousin's house, right? And she had like a baby with Joe of her thug life. It is what it is. She lived in a nice place in New Jersey. But I used to work in like Island Def Jam in New York. You know what I mean? So I had to like take the bus to the Port Authority, from New Jersey to New York and all of that. And then sometimes she would drive, and then like the amount of money she just to park and just to cross the George Washington Bridge, it was crazy. Insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, like, y'all be liking, and then like when you go to New York, right, from New Jersey, if you going across the George Washington Bridge, you like, all right, this bridge is like, ain't really worth all that. Like, think of all the traffic that go through there and how much they be charging to go across the George Washington Bridge. Bro, they ain't doing that much maintenance on that bridge. They just taxing y'all. You know what I mean? And then when you hit New York, and you going through the Lincoln Tunnel, whatever, you hit New York, and then all them taxes in New York, and then you be looking around, the roads be busted. It'd be like, what is y'all doing with all this money? And we find out Eric Adams, we rocking with you right now, Eric Adams, because you being red pilled. Shout out to you. But Eric Adams giving all your money to illegal immigrants. That's what they do. Y'all be like trying to get rent control, rent be crazy. Y'all be living in tenements, like, and they just giving all your money away to illegals. Like, that's crazy, bro. Big Wave Day said, I will never go to New York ever again. Yeah, man, like, New York is cool, but it's crazy expensive there. It's insane.
Here to build homes.
And then they leave New York because it's so expensive, and then they move somewhere else, and then they try to vote the same. I have no idea why they do that.
And in particular, I think the city of Austin has done a pretty interesting job, because in Austin, you saw this massive increase of people moving in. The cost of housing skyrocketed, but then Austin implemented some pretty smart policies, and that brought down the cost of housing. And it's one of the few major American cities where you see the cost of housing leveling off or even coming down. Now, the Trump administration has taken important steps to make building cheaper and to boost the supply of housing. Now, of course, it's going to take time, but this is a day one issue for our...
Jasmine Crockett. Oh, man, this lady.
So the Democratic House rep from Texas, Jasmine Crockett, says Americans don't really want to work. Therefore, we got to have the migrants to come pick the fruit and make the beds. Let's talk about it.
First of all, Jasmine Crockett, she can get it. Just saying. I don't believe anything she be saying. But if I saw her in a club or something, I might have to get that number.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about...
Hit it and quit it. That would be the motto. Hit it and quit it, Jasmine Crockett. I don't want to hear her talk politics. She don't know what she be talking about. But that would be that. In and out game. I'm out.
Jasmine Crockett saying that Americans are becoming more educated. We're becoming more affluent. Therefore, we are too good to be picking fruit, making beds, working the fields, as she called it. Now, there's a lot I want to say. First of all, there are some Americans who don't want to do those jobs. However, there are a lot of other Americans who don't have jobs and are trying to find something. But
let's give Big Wave Dave a special Thug Life for the chat. #1 doter. Thug Life. Shout out to Big Wave Dave.
But when they go to work in a chicken plant, when they go to work in the warehouse, when they go to drive trucks.
Shout out to Anthony Logan. He ended up reacting to one of my videos, so I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing your thing.
When they go to pretty much do anything, the preference is given to the illegal aliens, migrants, H-1Bs, whatever you want to call them. And when we complain about that, the excuse is you guys don't want to work. You guys don't want to do anything. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that there's not an issue with work ethic in this country. Again, I'm not going to say
there's a big issue with work ethic in this country. It is. It's a big issue.
That there's not an issue with work ethic in this country. However, to just blatantly say that Americans don't want to work, I think that's ridiculous. Now, before I go too far into it, I got a couple of clips for you guys. This young lady right here, I have no idea who this woman is, but she says, you know what, the leader or the future leaders of the Democratic Party should be Jasmine Crockett and AOC.
What? Hold on. All right, she crazy. I don't want to hear this. The future leaders of this country should be AOC and Jasmine Crockett. Oh my God, bro. No, she did not. Should we watch this? Noah said people are working plenty of other jobs that are way worse than picking fruit and doing housekeeping. Facts.
I think it's high time for the boys to step aside and let the ladies take over.
What is Karen about to say, bro?
It's time for Jasmine Crockett and AOC. It's time for the ladies.
What do y'all think? You agree with her? You think that Jasmine Crockett?
I think she has lost her mind. That's what I think, Anthony. What do y'all think in the chat, in the comment section? I think she's wildin'.
And AOC are going to do a good job of running the country. How about Jasmine Crockett and AOC on the 2028 Democratic presidential ticket? Don't put in the obvious guy, Gavin Newsom. Don't put in Big Mike. Put in this young lady right here. You know what? I'm going to say something nice before we get to Jasmine Crockett in this video from a year or two ago. It might have just been last year. But before I get into this, I want to say something nice about Big Mike.
Noah said, take over the kitchen and laundry, maybe. Yeah.
Problem Michelle Obama, Big Mike. I make the jokes. Somebody going to get offended, get mad at me.
Caught up. Dave with the $2 donation. He said, and those two will defend trans in women's sports. Exactly, bro. It's crazy. I got a daughter. I don't want no man in a women's sport, bro. Because if I'm watching my daughter playing volleyball and the dude come across the net, hit, bank, like, nah, bro. But we gonna have to scrap. Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
Police on me, whatever. Okay, that's fine. But what I will say about Big Mike is that she is a much better politician and has much better presence than this halfway hood rat, halfway suburb chick. And
Yo, did he call Logan call her a halfway hood rat? Yo. Yo.
other young lady from the Bronx, okay, allegedly, AOC. Big Mike is light years beyond these people, although I would never in a million years ever vote for any of them. But let's watch this. This is 2024.
Sad that we've got these cities and these towns that are being overrun by gangs and the crime out of control. I absolutely agree with that. And guess what? It's the MAGA gang. It is the white supremacists that have decided to descend upon places such as Springfield, Ohio.
Yo, did she just like silk press her wig? No, she did not just silk press her wig.
So I agree with him. I just disagree with who the problems are. The problems are him and his minions. The problems aren't the people that have come to make our economy.
Johnny Harris is a member on the channel. He said watching her is like she should have been on Peps.
Stronger, the people that have actually been able to help to continue to make sure that we got out of the big hole that he put us in after COVID-19 with his ineptness. Like, yeah, I agree that there are problems in our communities, but usually it's some white supremacists on the other side. He said,
let's pause for a second.
Ronald said silk press, I bet. Hey, that ain't a normal silk press. That's when weave is silk pressed. That's what it looks like to me. It looks like she got a wig or a weave that silk press has been applied to. That's what it looks like to me. What do y'all think?
Second. Now, let's give some context and clarify some things. She's saying,
and she got some heavy eyelashes on. So that lady, that Karen lady, believes that this heavy eyelash, her eyelashes is so heavy she can't keep her eyes open. She believes this heavy eyelash lady with a silk press wig should be running the country. What y'all think about that?
That the problems that took place in Springfield, Ohio, and that may still be going on, that was the MAGA people, the MAGA gang, who caused those problems, when in reality, it was the migrants. Listen, if you have a small city, town, whatever you want to call it, 55,000 people, and you add in 20,000 Haitians to the population, it's going to be problems. It's going to be obvious cultural problems, language barriers. They can't drive cars properly, no driver's licenses. And you're going to cause the cost of living to increase because they're being subsidized by the government, by the magic cards. There were so many problems the migrant crisis caused. It's kind of immeasurable. The Democrats will say we had to do it because of the inflation. We had to bring in the cheap labor, but they also spent $450 billion every year to bring the migrants. So I don't really understand. All right.
Bro, and Joe Rogan, I don't know if this is true or not. Joe Rogan said this. When he interviewed Donald Trump, he said that they were flying the illegals to no voter ID states to vote. What do y'all think about that? I don't know. Then they had other allegations that was going on. We don't know if it's true or not, but they said during the Kamala Harris rallies, they were actually busing in illegals. I don't know. What do y'all think? Because her rallies was weak. You remember she had to get Beyonce. They promised Beyonce was going to perform allegedly. Beyonce gets up there. She speaks for a second and gets off stage. So they were using celebrities to get people in the building because people wasn't really rocking with her all like that. So it's a lot. Big Wave Dave with the $2 donation. A true Republican. It's got the bag. He says, Piper Boy, my last super chat, I have work in the morning. Shout out to you, Big Wave Dave. You have done enough. Thank you, Thug Life. He's gonna work and make that money. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Big Wave Dave.
Let's keep on going here. This is the more recent clip of her talking about the migrants and how they're necessary for our country to keep going. And Americans, we become educated, we become more skilled. We don't want to do those jobs. All right, let's go ahead and watch.
How many of you are sending your kids to college to go and work on them? Okay, well, guess.
She playing music. I can't do that, man. We gotta go off of what he's saying. Music can't be played. Sorry, I don't have that license. I'm not blogging for free.
Look, you got to have the migrants, because if the migrants aren't here, then you guys are not going to work. You guys are not going to do anything. Now, last I checked, the migrant crisis is a new thing. The influx of all these people is a new thing. So how did this country survive without the migrant crisis? How did we survive? How did we get anything done? We used to actually produce things in this. We had factories. We were really into farms. At one point, the United States was 90% agrarian, which means that we were farmers. We grew our own food and we made things here. So what changed? What changed? Slavery ended? No, because after slavery, we were still agrarian. After slavery, we still had factories. Factories are still here up until what, 70s, 80s?
Hold on. Shout out to Anthony Brian Logan. He's got a hat that said, I survived the pandemic. Yo, I might buy that. How much is that hat? Oh, he ain't got it. That's a fire hat, though.
Maybe 90s. And we still have factory capacity here. Now, what we got to do is bring the factory capacity back and bring back an idea of self-reliance rather than being reliant upon foreign slave labor, because that's what it is. Keep it all the way real. You're talking about capitalism. Well, capitalism is not the same thing as slavery. It's not the same thing as importing illegal aliens. If the illegal aliens weren't there, then the job still got to get done, or we're not going to have what we need. So a lot of people do go to college. And then something else you said, we send everybody to college. Yes, we do send everybody to college, or we send a lot of our youth to college, although I don't think they all should go to college. I mean, some people have no business being in college at all, or maybe not in a really high level program. You got people that have these college degrees in underwater basket weaving and some ridiculous thing that they're never going to use. They get saddled with student loan debt and they're struggling every day just to make ends meet, when they could have just been having
associates in arts,
farm, working on the land, doing something like this, having an alpaca farm, having a strawberry farm, doing something like that. They could have been doing something else other than what they're doing.
They're just getting like their license to be a plumber, and like plumbers be making like way more than like some doctors sometimes. Like, or figure out like a different way instead of sitting there wasting all of that time on degrees that's not going to get them nowhere.
And as far as farm work, building houses, things of this nature, I knew guys in high school that were doing this kind of work. I mean, it's not that difficult. We're talking about building houses. It's not that hard, to be totally honest. I mean, some of the more serious things like your electrical, plumbing, maybe electrical especially, but framing.
Hold on, Anthony. I got to give you some pushback there, because I remember being, I think I was like 21, right? And I got hired. This is a temporary agency. This is a long time ago. And, Cleveland wasn't no jobs and nothing like that. So it's like a temporary, I got hired, right? And they're like, okay, well, you got to go. They're building a house in the area, right? So I went to the area, and it wasn't nothing but like just the land and then just like a few like pieces of wood everywhere. And I'm kind of looking like, I don't know how to build no house. I was there for one day and got up out of there. Not everybody know how to build houses. I was looking at that. I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I was out. You know what I'm saying? I lasted maybe an hour. I had to get up out of there.
It ain't that. I mean, they got prefab stuff. All you doing is just putting it together. It's not that difficult. A lot of these illegal aliens come over here with no construction skills at all. Everything's prefab. All they got to do is hammer it together, nail it together. That's it. And
hey, hold on, am I lying? I mean, y'all know how to build. I don't know how to build no house. Like the little prefab houses. If you talk like, you got them little cheap houses. Like they used to sell at Sears. That you just, what I mean, like roll it in and put it. Like you got them, but like a house, like if a house is built right, like nah, bruh. I was looking at all that. I'm like, man, get up out of here. I'm not about to build no house. Let me get another job real quick. I wasn't doing that, bro. Not everybody can build no house. Marie Brown, not everybody can build no house. I can do some projects, right? In the house, my theater, you know what I'm saying? Like I put the speakers in the ceiling, you know what I'm saying? Painted the walls, did all that. Patched the wall, painted the wall. Like I could do that. But when you're talking about building a structure that somebody gonna live in, that's a little bit different, Mr. Logan.
They're so unskilled that a lot of the work is shoddy. We've seen some of these corporations, what's that, D.R. Horton? Absolutely horrible. They're bringing in this cheap illegal alien labor. The houses are slapped together. It's poor, it's terrible work. We need to reinvest into our youth to give them pride in building things and creating things and owning things. And if we don't do that, we're going to be dependent upon slave labor. And I thought that we abolished that in this country.
Yeah, but the pushback with that, right? And this is me being fair. So you got companies that build roads, right? You got scabs and stuff like that. Scab companies, they call them in Cleveland, Ohio. They come in and they build the roads for cheap, and they repay for cheap and do things like that. And they try to kind of undercut the unions and stuff like that, right? Some of them roads, to be put together terrible, right? And Nashville, Tennessee, Americans that are doing roads, they might do the roads like pretty quick, but if it rains, the roads break apart. You know what I mean? Like the roads be put together terrible. So it's like, either way, you can get shoddy labor. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't care about none of that. Come in here legally or don't come in here at all. Thug life.
But as I close, I want to say this. Shout out to Jasmine Crockett for at least bringing up the conversation. Some are going to agree with me. Some are going to agree with her. But I want to hear what you guys think, and I think I'll leave that right there for now.
Shout out. He reacted to one of my videos, so Logan's cool with me.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Pam, very much. What a job you're doing. And it's a true honor to be with you today. This is a storied hall, if there ever was one, and based on the
Kristen Medwood, one of the renowned Democrats in here, he said those North Face tents are easy to put together.
I think we broke the all-time record. But as we begin a proud new chapter in the chronicles of American justice, this really is something. We're turning the page on 4 long years of corruption, weaponization, and surrender to violent criminals, and we're restoring fair, equal, and impartial justice under the constitutional rule of law. And you're the people that are doing it. I'm very, very proud of all of you. Under the Trump administration, the DOJ and the FBI will once again become the premier crime-fighting agencies on the face of the earth. People ask me, what am I going to do about law enforcement all the time? The fake news back there, they're asking me that all the time. What am I going to do? And when are you going to do it? And I answer them by saying I've already done most of it by appointing the people that I've appointed. They're sitting right here. They've done most of it. I don't do it, they do it. Right, Pam? I think, you are so tough, they just don't know yet. Let me begin by congratulating the incredible people who will lead these historic reforms And we start with somebody that you just saw, Pam Bondi. She's extraordinary, and I've known her very well.
Johnny Harris is a member on the channel. He said, I can only put houses up on a Monopoly board. Johnny, when I seen that all that board, and I'm like, man, get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? The table saw, they like, all right, we put that house together. I'm like, what? No, I'm out.
For a long time. I watched her for a long time in Florida, for years in Florida, and highly experienced. She seems so young, but she's highly experienced, that I can tell you. She was a phenomenal attorney general in Florida, and she's going to do a really amazing job. Also, our new director of the FBI, Kash Patel. Kash, right. A man that I'm very proud of. I've known him and Emil for a long time under tremendous pressure. I saw these guys under some of the most corrupt judges. It's not even imaginable how corrupt they were. And these guys never wilted. They were not shy. They fought. They weren't afraid, and they were brilliant. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and Principal Associate Deputy Attorney Emil Beauvais. And thank you both very much. Yeah, great people. They're great people. The Chief of Staff, who's so highly respected, Chad Mizell. Thank you, Chad. Chad? Yeah. Thank you, Chad. Our next administrator of the DEA, Terry Cole. Terry? Thank you, Terry. Good luck. Going to do great. Senior counsel to the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights. Boy, I've been watching him on television last couple of weeks. He is really a tough one, and he's a great one. Leo Terrell, you watch how good he's going to be. He's going to be so good. Thank you, Leo. Great guy. Assistant Attorney General of the Antitrust Division, who's got an incredible reputation. She'll do very, very well. Gail Slater. Thank you, Gail. Good luck. Great job. Now, we're joined by many, many great friends and terrific friends, and I won't be able to, too many to name, but some that I just see very quickly. General Flynn, thank you for being here. Here's a man who went through hell, by the way, and he shouldn't have. He's a patriot. He went through hell. We're also pleased to be joined by Senator Chuck Grassley and House Majority Whip. Where's Chuck? Hi, Chuck. House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. Tom, great job you're doing. Representative Guy Reschenthaler, one of the toughest names to say, but I got it perfectly, I think. And State Attorney General Ken Paxton, thank you very much.
All right, he's thanking a lot of people. Let's fast forward that.
Of the American people. You remember the 51 intelligence agents that said, as an example, that Hunter Biden's laptop from hell came from Russia, when they knew it came right from his bedroom. They knew that. It was a big lie, and they knew it so well. They spied on my campaign, launched one hoax and disinformation operation after another, broke the law on a colossal scale, persecuted my family, staff, and supporters, raided my home, Mar-a-Lago, and did everything within their power to prevent me from becoming the president of the United States. With the help of radicals like Mark Elias, Mark Pomerantz, and these are people that nobody's ever seen anything like.
We're gonna come back tomorrow, and I'm gonna probably run like probably a 3-hour live. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta get up out of here. I know a lot of y'all got work in the morning. I got some stuff I gotta do. Girl just brought in some food. I gotta eat that. You know what I'm saying? But shout out to everybody. Shout out to Trump, first and foremost. You know what I mean? Get mad. Shout outs. You know what I mean? I think he's been doing an incredible job. I don't care what nobody says. You know, it is what it is, but shout out to everybody. I'm Mark. Subscribe. Let me know what y'all think about